everyone. Now, before we get started, I want you to think of two people applying for the same job. One is highly qualified but looks average. The other lacks experience but fits the beauty standard of the time. Who do you think will get hired? Well, the answer might not be fair, because in a world obsessed with appearances, beauty often becomes the deciding factor for success. So, what are beauty standards? Well, according to Medical News Today, beauty standards refers to the ideals that society and culture impose on what is considered beautiful. And these ideals can include height, weight, facial proportions, and body shape. And throughout history, beauty has been a driving factor for success. In the Middle Ages, the rich and royals were seen as the epitome of beauty, while those from the lower social classes were often described as, well, less attractive. This divide still exists today and is only becoming more pronounced. And in a digitalized era, the pressure to conform to a certain beauty standard has reached new extremes, as influencers on platforms like Instagram and TikTok constantly push a single narrow beauty ideal by posting highly edited photos of themselves, suggesting that there is only one way to look attractive. To add to that, the widespread use of social media filters has made these standards even more unrealistic. And if this trend continues, we may soon see even more rigid beauty expectations, making a standard that is impossible for most people to meet. I mean, think about it. Don't photo editing apps already make everyone appear flawless? To add to that, there's a fashion trend revolving around office workers called an office siren. But really, when you look into it, the people that are dressed in fancy business clothes are just models. No wonder they look picture perfect. And I believe that being exposed to such images over time could push companies to only hire those who look like an office siren, leaving those who don't fit that superficial mold to be insecure about their looks and doubt their actual skills and talent in the field. The focus on appearance doesn't just impact social media, it is already shaping the job market. In many companies today, looking attractive plays a significant role in securing high-paying jobs. Countless studies have shown that attractive people are often perceived as confident, trustworthy, and even competent, but that just opens doors to opportunities that others might not even have a chance at. In fact, I once overheard someone say, if they look that good, they've gotta be good at what they do. And it stuck with me. But not because it's true, but it's because I realized that we're starting to equate beauty with ability. But I mean, looking good doesn't automatically mean that you're good at the job, and we should stop confusing confidence with capability. However, society thinks otherwise, as they prefer to hire those who fit the beauty standard, practically handing them bright futures, big careers, and huge opportunities. But it's not just because they think they're good at the job. They know that beauty reflects positively on the company, so they only hire those who fit the beauty standard, and leaving those who don't fit that beauty standard to doubt their talents. And research further confirms this bias, as numerous researchers have proven that attractive employees tend to be hired more quickly, promoted faster, and earn higher salaries. For example, a study by Standout CV revealed that those who are attractive earn nearly $20,000 more per year than their less attractive counterparts. And another study by the University of Texas found that those who are deemed attractive earned 3 to 4% more than their average-looking counterparts. And those who are deemed unattractive earn 5 to 10% less. But over the years, this could add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars lost simply because of appearance. But what happens if beauty continues to determine success? We may reach a point where job descriptions explicitly require physical attractiveness. We may see companies listing traits such as conventionally attractive or polished look as prerequisites for employment, even in jobs that don't necessarily involve customer-facing roles. But I mean, in fields like fashion, entertainment, and public service roles, there already exist such requirements. But what happens if serious fields like law, medicine, or architecture start replacing substance with appearance? Well, imagine a doctor getting hired, not for their years of training, not for their steady hands or their sharp minds, but simply because they look the part. In a world where beauty starts to matter more than qualifications, what happens to the patients whose lives depend on expertise? We may see fewer female doctors, fewer doctors from diverse backgrounds, and truly qualified individuals cast aside just because they don't fit into a superficial mold. And beyond that, picture this. You're lying on the operating table, scared and vulnerable, and the person about to operate on you was chosen for how they looked in a lab coat, not for how many lives they've saved. The potential for misdiagnosis, surgical mistakes, or even fatal errors becomes all too real, because in this field, beauty can't stop the bleeding, and it certainly cannot save a life. And what's even more troubling is that doctors, if we start to prioritize appearance over skills and qualification in medicine, it's not just unethical, it's dangerous. And if we do prioritize it, we risk losing a huge diversity in our healthcare system. And patients might start to doubt if their doctor is truly qualified or not. And that erosion of trust can be dangerous. And doctors themselves may feel pressured to change their appearances just to be taken seriously, leading to anxiety, burnout, and body image struggles in an already stressful field. But it's not just about healthcare. There's another field, the legal field. Picture walking into a courtroom, ready to sue a doctor for malpractice, only to find out that your lawyer was hired for how they looked, not for their legal expertise. Studies have shown that people often associate beauty with traits like competence and honesty, but that just means that attractive lawyers get the benefit of the doubt before they even speak. And that creates a dangerous bias, because in a courtroom, every word, every argument, and every piece of evidence matters. And making decisions based on appearance could truly impact justice and lives. And lawyers who don't fit the beauty standard might struggle to get hired, earn recognition, or build a client base. Imagine the damage to someone's career when you're constantly being overlooked just because you don't meet the superficial mold. And if courtroom success starts depending on appearance rather than expertise, we risk turning court justice system into a popularity contest. And in a field that's supposed to be fair and impartial, that kind of bias could truly undermine everything that it stands for. But there's also another field that quite literally shapes the world around us, architecture, a field where creativity, precision, and technical skills are vital. Appearance starts to outweigh competence here, the consequences would be catastrophic. Picture hiring an architect that looks the part but struggles to build a stable structure. It's not just a design flaw, it's a safety hazard. On the other hand, hiring someone who's creative but untrained could lead to buildings that look impressive but fail in functionality, practicality, and safety. And if architects are selected based on appearance, we risk losing truly talented individuals from diverse backgrounds. And that poses a huge problem because diversity is crucial in architecture as it provides new ideas, cultural richness, and innovative perspectives on how we build our cities. And without that, we would end up with monotonous surface-level buildings that follow the fleeting trends, but fail to meet the long-term needs of the population. And over time, architects who don't meet the beauty standard would find themselves being overlooked regardless of their talent. And this not only reinforces the damaging idea that beauty equals ability, but it also undermines the field's responsibility to prioritize function, safety, and inclusive design. And over time, that would create barriers for women and people of color who already struggle and face challenges in breaking through in the industry. And if we allow beauty bias to take root here, architecture could lose its credibility as a serious and thoughtful profession, and ultimately we would replace style with substance with style, and innovation with imitation. If beauty does start dictating success, it won't be about hard work and talent anymore. People will feel pressured to alter their appearances through cosmetic procedures or wardrobe changes just to be taken seriously. And the constant comparison to attractive coworkers would lead to jealousy, low self-esteem, and other mental health problems like anxiety, depression, and even body dysmorphia. Some might even spend thousands of dollars on procedures and products, but not out of confidence, but fear, believing that it's the only way to stay relevant. And the stress of having to maintain a perfect image 24/7 can be draining, and it would make people feel like they're losing themselves just to fit in. And overall, I strongly believe that talented individuals should not have to face the loss of huge opportunities, raises, and bright careers just because they don't have privilege and don't fit into the beauty norms. Everyone, no matter their looks, gender, or color, deserves to have the same opportunities as their colleagues. And beauty should not be a career requirement. In fact, skill, knowledge, creativity, and hard work should lead the way. And we need to make a change and start giving everybody opportunities based on their hard work, not their appearance. And in conclusion, the future should be about opportunities based on talent, not our appearances. We need to build a world where skill, passion, and hard work define success, not the way we look. Let's work together to change the narrative and make sure that the path to success is not determined by our looks, but by the value we bring through our talents and contributions. Thank you.